People of Reddit who have encountered ghosts or other supernatural beings, what was your experience like? What happened?
That night felt like a blur, a long, strange, haunting blur. After the barbecue at Albert's place, I decided to leave early. It was a fun evening, but I was tired, and with the wedding planning taking over every waking moment, I figured a quiet drive home and a good night's sleep would be a blessing. Besides, Sam planned to stay back, and Albert promised to drop him off in the city the next day. I didn't think twice when I offered to take Sam's car. I'd driven it plenty of times before, and the road home was familiar. The road stretched out in front of me, winding through the dark forest that seemed endless. The dense trees and faint light from the crescent moon gave the night an eerie, almost oppressive feel. The smell of pine was thick in the air, and the distant hum of insects was the only sound accompanying the faint purr of the car. I didn't feel it at first, the unease. I was replaying the evening in my head, laughing softly at Sam's terrible jokes, when I noticed something or someone on the side of the road. For a split second, I thought it was Sam. The silhouette had his build, his posture, even his favourite hoodie. I slowed the car instinctively and glanced back through the rearview mirror, but the figure was gone. My heart skipped a beat. "What the?" I muttered, gripping the wheel tighter. I lowered the window slightly, letting the cold night air creep in. "Sam, is that you?" I called out. The sound of my voice seemed swallowed by the forest. No response. Nothing but the rustling of leaves. I told myself I was tired, imagining things. Still, the silence pressed against my ears, almost deafening. A part of me wanted to turn around to look closer, but an instinctual fear kept me glued to my seat. Without signal on my phone and the isolation of the woods, I decided it was better keep moving. It wasn't worth stopping. Not in the middle of nowhere. I rolled the window back up, feeling my pulse quicken as I pressed on the accelerator. That's when I saw it again. A shadow, tall and impossibly thin, darting in the rearview mirror. It moved too quickly to be human, almost unnaturally fast, as if it were gliding rather than running. My chest tightened. My brain scrambled for explanations. An animal, a trick of the light, maybe a low-hanging branch caught in the reflection. But deep down, I knew it wasn't any of those things. The air in the car felt heavier, the quiet more oppressive. I locked the doors and focused on the road, refusing to look back again. The town wasn't far. If I just kept driving, I'd be safe. That was the mantra I kept repeating to myself, even as my hands shook against the wheel. When I finally got home, I was too rattled to unpack what had just happened. I didn't even turn on the lights. I locked the door, threw my bag onto the couch, and collapsed onto the bed, pulling the covers over me as if they could shield me from the unease creeping under my skin. "You're tired," I whispered to myself. "You're just imagining things." I don't know how long I was asleep before my phone rang. Sam's name flashed on the screen, his voice groggy and confused on the other end. "Are you okay?" he asked. "You sounded strange earlier." "What are you talking about?" I murmured, rubbing my eyes. "You called my name," he said. "You sounded scared." I sat up, my pulse spiking. "Sam, I didn't call you. I've been asleep since I got home." There was a pause, and I could hear him breathing heavily on the other end. "It wasn't you?" "No. What's going on?" I asked, a cold sweat breaking out on my forehead. He didn't answer immediately, but when he did, his voice was trembling. "Stay inside, Lily. Lock the doors. Don't open them for anyone until morning. Sam, you're scaring me. What happened?" "We'll talk tomorrow," he said before hanging up abruptly. I sat there for what felt like hours, clutching my phone and staring at the locked door, trying to make sense of his words. My heart was racing and sleep felt impossible, but exhaustion eventually overtook me. It wasn't until the next day, when Albert dropped Sam off in the city, that I learned the truth. Sam recounted the events of the night, the voice calling his name from the woods, the twisted, monstrous figure mimicking me, the unnatural howling that had echoed through the trees. My blood ran cold as he told me everything, and the realization hit me like a truck. Whatever had been in the woods wasn't human. It had been toying with us, trying to lure Sam into the forest. And that thing, it had followed me. The shadow in the mirror, the figure on the roadside, it had been watching me, waiting. I hadn't just imagined it. I hadn't just been tired. I had seen it. And worse, it had seen me. If this chilling tale gave you goosebumps, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more stories like this. Thank you for tuning in to Ghostly Echoes. Until next time,